it's a kind of sonnet that I've created for myself and I write almost exclusively in now. The sonnet is based on an Italian sonnet, the Petrarchan sonnet, which is made up of, I just told you I wouldn't talk about this, but I'll go, which is made up of an octave and a sestet, 8 lines and 6 lines in the poem. I grew up in Southwest Louisiana in a bilingual culture, in a monolingual household, because my parents were the first generation of people who were punished for speaking their native language. So what ended up happening was that the French that I learned was a broken French. And when I tried to speak French, I was speaking something that people were critical of. And I still can neither make myself understood or understand French in Paris. My English was much the same because of that kind of two horses that I was trying to straddle. And so I got the idea that with this formal form that I was using, I thought it would be a kind of neat idea to play on this idea of brokenness. So I break the quatrain up into, the octave up into an opening quatrain and a closing quatrain. And the sestet, the 6-line part of the poem, is in the middle of the poem, which really confuses the logic of the sonnet, but that's by intention. So that when you read the rhyme in the sonnet, the rhyme is fairly close. Room, set, moon, wet. From leaflets, crumbs, nets. And so you can hear the rhyme, but when I read the poem, my intention was to use a kind of sentence in the poem and to use a kind of line so that you wouldn't hear that rhyme. And then there's a different rhyme scheme in the middle of the poem. The poem is replicated in the book that you receive students from Lusher, and so you can look at it later on if you care to. But this is the poem. This is the centennial poem for the New Orleans Museum of Art, 2011. These fields are like notes you get from across the room, little squares someone wants you to have so you might reset your life. Diminutive Rothkos everywhere, and like Rothkos, they loom in your head for days. Crazy quilts dry as desert air, and some so wet they drip still today as we read them together. The notes I am most taken with are the notes of diagonal lines. We can read those notes one day as sentinels, arms akimbo, guarding the moats to the imperial palaces. Another day, they are about need or conflict, or they are conjugates lost in bliss in drifting boats they cannot or will not steer. In these frames, whoever leads, leads, and that's that. But there is so much more to take from these lines so carefully made that no more houses them. Leaflets filled with marks the heart makes. She's left us all the crumbs to help us find our way. Left us rivers with fishes in them and nets. And so the images are there, and the idea is you have to go fishing. you have to walk to be able to enter the poem. And I love the way the grid creates a kind of image of a net, and that in each one of the squares that the net makes, she's filled something with the image. There's a reference to, you see the two on the right-hand side on the bottom that are still dripping. And that's something that you don't notice the first time you look at a painting. One of the things that I love about looking at paintings is that you look at a painting 50 times, and the 51st time you discover something that you had never seen in the painting before. And I had never seen all of that dripping. And then when I look at the rest of the squares, so many of them have that particular characteristic. One day they are about need or conflict, or they are conjugate it's lost in bliss and drifting boats they cannot or will not steer. One of the things that I know about art is that it changes. It changes not because of what Ida Kohlmeyer did, but it changes because of the spirit that I bring to the painting every time I look at it.